We're here today with Cal Jenkins, Esports Director of Ohio Wesleyan University. Cal, thank you so much for being here with us and adding value to international students.
Thank you for having me.
And before we start, talking about your esports program, can you talk about your journey into becoming the esports director of Ohio Wesleyan?
My journey. Okay. So I have a master's in healthcare administration. I worked for a number of years in hospitals. I worked in a medical records department, and that was very boring. So I volunteered for a few privately owned clubs, uh, developed some experience, learned the ropes, and then I built my first collegiate program. I built my second collegiate program, and now I've moved to Ohio Wesleyan, and this is my third collegiate program. And I've been doing this now for about 6 years, and I really enjoy it.
That's great. And are you guys under what department? Athletics, student life, communicate. What is your standing, and what is the reason why you're there?
Sure. So the reason I'm here is because I wanted to be in Ohio because Ohio is an emerging market. Um, for esports teams, I think this is the place to be over the next 10 to 20 years. I think you're going to see some of the bigger events, some more well-established coordinators, better opportunities for students, things of that nature. That's why I wanted to come to Ohio specifically. Ohio Wesleyan, I like the school. It's close to Columbus. That's why this area of Ohio.
What part is the does the esports program fall under? Is it
Uh,
student life, athletics, and the reason why?
so at this university, we fall under student engagement and success, which is most closely related to student life, I suppose would be the parallel. We're not under athletics, which is kind of nice for us because here it means we can offer scholarships, which I think is nice. We still travel. We still have facilities on campus. We have full-time people. That's me. Yes, I enjoy the product that we make here, the program that we offer, and under student engagement.
And do you also focus on competition and club, or one or the other? Do you also have a development team? And what give video games have this structure, and what other video games are you still developing?
So we run 5 titles at the varsity level right now: Smash
Okay.
Brothers, Rocket League, Overwatch, Valorant, and League of Legends. We run those through a national coordinator called the NECC. It's one of the larger esports coordinators in North America. I think NACE is probably the largest one, so we're in the second largest coordinator in North America. So that's a national competition. They conduct nationals. There's a prize pool. Students here, anything we win goes 100% back to the students, only amongst those who play. So if you come here and get on the roster but you never play, you're not entitled to a proportionate of any prizes. However, if you come in here and play one game, then you're entitled to a portion of the prizes. So that talks a little bit about the coordinator we're in. We are looking to expand to further titles, and we do have the ability to do that. Really, myself and a few other individuals at the university decide when and how many more titles become varsity. In addition to that, we have a club program that is student-led and student-run that takes on other titles. So I know right now they're exploring collegiate Mario Kart. They're exploring collegiate Street Fighter. And they'll do that not through the NECC, which is you could call it a conference or coordinator, but they'll do it through whatever they find. And they're given a small club budget to determine which systems they would like to compete through, and then they'll conduct those. I mentioned Street Fighter being there. I think the next varsity title we're looking at is either going to be CSGO or R6. I'm hopeful we'll launch that in the second half of the school year, so February, March. Yeah.
Are you positive about CS2
I'm
as
not.
an impact the collegiate team?
I really like CS2. I'd say it's competing most heavily with R6 on our campus right now. I like to say that my program is driven by student interest. So I try to remove myself from deciding where and how we grow, and I try to put as much of that prerogative on the students as possible. So it's really which title is more popular and how many students show up to practice, how many students say they'll show up to that practice. I need to know that we're going to invest resources in another varsity title, that our students will take advantage of that and enjoy the opportunity.
That's right. And you explain a bit like the facilities on campus that you have for students,
Sure.
because usually that's what the students are also very interested in.
All right. So we have a little esports arena here. We have 14 PCs currently, but we're hoping to expand to 18 to 20 in the next 2 to 3 years. So this is the main area. We also have a small streaming room. That's open for students to use so long as we're not actively competing. So if you have like a Twitch channel, or if you want to be a streamer, we have a tripod camera and a mic set up over there, and you come in here, you get the key, you go over there, you stream. And then during competitions, we have 2 casters. Well, sometimes 2, sometimes 1. We're working on it. And they go over there and they'll talk about the competition going on.
That's right. And you mentioned like casting and streaming. What other like non-competitive student positions do you have in the program? And do you offer scholarship? Are they volunteer? How does that work?
So let me give you a small breakdown. So we have Stream Team here, which is all volunteer, but it's also one of the nicer things you can put on a resume is that I have productions experience. Also, if you do a stream or you cast, I give you credit on the video. So you can build a portfolio of work to then find a career perhaps in productions later on. So Stream Team, that's volunteer. We have work study roles. They're called Esports Facility Attendant. And basically that role is working the front desk plus whatever combination of things need to be done that day. So that might mean, working the front desk plus setting up OBS for a competition later, get that up and running. It might mean writing down which keyboards have a weird shift key because they need to be looked at later. So there's a couple of things there. It's a bit of a flexible role. That's our Esports Facility Attendant role, and that's work study, which means that gets paid. There are team captains. I like to have 1 captain per varsity title. They do a number of things. So they'll help me set the lineup. They'll make sure everyone attends practice alongside me. We offer a VOD review service. We do that once a week. And I actually contract to an outside service to do those VOD reviews for us. Captains have to attend those. Other students can attend those. And that's an online service that we offer. I think that's it in terms of other positions we have available right now, but we are still a young program. We're about 8 months old. I think some things that might develop in the future, I think team managers is one that might develop in the future. But yeah, we'll see how we grow and develop there.
No, that's great. That's great. And what is the time commitment of players and those students that are in non-competitive positions, like with classes, and the esports program? How would like a schedule look like a day to day?
So scheduling. Let's go with, so our competition is generally 8 weeks out of the year, unless we make it to finals, and then you tack on up to 2 more weeks. So you're looking at 8 to 10 weeks per semester. We only run varsity titles 1 semester out of the year. So let's take Rocket League, for instance. Rocket League will start late September, run until November or early December, if we go all the way conference-wise. If we don't, it's an 8 weeks, pretty quick season. If we go all the way on the semester, it'll be a 10-week season. That's 1 semester out of the year, so we don't run titles year-round. Some programs do. We run 3 titles 1 semester and 2 titles the other semester right now. If we expand that, we'll probably run 3 and 3.
Does that mean that students can play more than one video game throughout the year?
They can, and in fact,
okay.
They can. In fact, if you do that for me, you give me other competitive options. So what I'll do is I'll exempt you from the mandatory practices for any further titles you take on. So if you join us to play Rocket League, you have to attend practices, and practices are 2 hours a week throughout the duration of the competitive season. So 2 hours a week mandatory for 8 to 10 weeks. That's the hard time commitment. If you're chosen to compete, and if you're a starter, you will then have to compete, which is, let's call it another 2 to 3 hours, depending on title. League of Legends runs a little longer. Rocket League is also much shorter. So again, you're looking at a total time commitment of 4 to 5 hours, I think, for 8 to 10 weeks. That's the time commitment in and out. You do that for one semester. And then if you take on another title, which I am very open to, I exempt you from the mandatory practices. So you join me for Rocket League, practice for Rocket League, compete Rocket League one semester, but then you'd like to do Overwatch next semester. I don't keep track of your practices. You can come and go as you like.
Nice. And for the non-competitive positions, like, is it more flexible? Do they have the same hours of commitment? How would that work?
So when you say non-competitive positions, do you mean
Like streaming? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're volunteer. The stream team is completely volunteer.
Okay.
So I let them pick and choose when they want to show up. I will fill any necessary openings with our work study program. So there's a possibility that our work study might be casting a game. That might be their job someday. Work the front desk plus casting a League of Legends game, which is a possibility here.
Nice. And more like in the near future, would you think about like getting esports into the academics scene, like as a certificate, as a minor, or maybe inside a communications class or sports management class? Is that something you're looking for, or for now it's not even in the picture?
I'd like to do that, yes. So the way that typically grows and develops is first you do an internship, and you build an internship program. It's generally so they call it an hour. Some places call it a credit. So basically a small internship, and we'll do that with communications, and we'll make it a social media internship package, or we'll do it with sports management, make it a program management package, and you'll run that for a semester. And then after you've done that successfully for a year or two, then you'll look at expanding academically. I'd say we're to the point now where we might be able to do a small internship for a department perhaps next year. We're only about 18 months old, so we're still a young program, but we do have plans to expand there.
And what would be like, let's say, your main objective for this coming year, this coming fall 2023 and spring 2024? What would be that objective that you want to focus on?
So I'd say my main objective is to increase the number of times that we travel in state. I want to finish up our streaming room. It's still in development, so I'd like to finish that up, increase the number of times we travel. We just got captains up and running. That was another big goal for this year. And I think hammer out some stream team considerations, and perhaps do some interesting things with social media. Oh, and build a camp. I'd say those are probably collectively our big goals for this year.
Okay, that's great. Well, Carl, thanks a lot for your time. And just to wrap this up, like, where can students find you guys on social media?
So if you go to owu.edu/esports and you scroll all the way down the page, you'll see all of our social media there. And our Discord is open to anyone. So if you want to talk to some of our current students, you can go in there. They tend to give a very raw perception of what our program and university is like.
Well, Carl, thank you so much for your time, and we'll stay in touch.